Yesterday on Sergeant Packer Retired, we were on the Lost Coast 4x4 trail, traveling from Usel Beach Campground to Tolken Campground via Usel Beach Road and Kings Peak Road. Today, episode 3, day 3, we're traveling from Tolken Campground to the Mattole River Campground. Episode is entitled, The Charges Were Dropped. Imagine that. Got radio up? Alright, we got about 9 miles of off-road and then we get paid for the rest of the duration. Tolken Campground. 10 o'clock in the morning, heading north.
Vice just sent me the newest headline. Nancy Pelosi's husband got arrested last night for DUI.
Imagine that.
I wonder if we should celebrate.
This is probably going to be a graded dirt road for 9 miles and we get back to paved before we get into the Mattole area. But it's cleared up, not raining today, sun's coming out. We're going to take Kings Peak Road all the way to the Blacktop T intersection where you head right to Edwardsburg and left to Honeydew and then to Petrolia. Once we get close to Petrolia, just inside Petrolia, we're going to end up taking what ends up being the Mattole River Campground Road. It's called Lighthouse Road. We do pull into AWA, but it's $30 minimum for us to camp versus $8 a site at the Mattole River Campground. So we're going to the Mattole River Campground instead. Not only was it less expensive, but we ran into the family driving the Colorado Adventure van. We first said hello to them back at the Usel Beach Campground, and they're at the Mattole Campground when we arrive. Riding in Barron's Dodge Ram right now. We're going to have about 3 or 4 streams, creeks, whichever is the smallest. They were easy to cross, no big deal. I do stop in one. It's not for any other reason than I pulled out my 35 millimeter and took some photos looking out my driver's side window at some of the flora that was out there. It was pretty spectacular, especially being in this redwood Doug fir forest.
From a ball, can't get no loving while your man is gone. You can't get water from a dry well, can't save a sinner from the fire in hell. She takes her time. She is a rambling woman. She got a rambling mind. You can't get water from a dry well. Can't save a sinner from the fire in hell. Honey,
a sign as we came down into this gully that said no trailers recommended. That creek crossing and that hard right turn are probably why.
Clap your hands, wave your land.
Yep, but not Brothers the Honda.
They'll see you coming, driving on your feet. And your
Yep, they'll never leave when you're going on a trip again. He's been through already. I'm looking at fresh tracks from a single drive vehicle or motorcycle ahead of me.
Yeah, I think they might be doing the same trail we're doing.
Tankers for.
I'm sure it's for fighting the wildfire.
And that's what I was thinking. Fire management. Interesting. High fences. Water tanks. And we're out on the road. We're out. Honeydew Edwardsburg, left and right. We can air up. Head to Mattole. AW.
Creaking of the door, and his footsteps on the floor. Now the stranger is in your house. He's up tonight, now he's on the prowl. You can hear the long time dog howl.
We drop into Honeydew and pass the Honeydew store here pretty quickly. I don't think this store or establishment has changed in years after year after year. If I pass through here, this little town of Honeydew, and then a short jaunt, you get over to Petrolia, the 2 stores in between with the fire station over at the Petrolia side, just never changes. The drive is always beautiful. Just depends on how green or greener it is, depending on what the cattle enclosures look like and whether they've hayed or not. But just a neat little town to come through. You can stop and pick up most stuff at the store.
Well, you can't get me a honey from a bone. Can't get no loving while your man is gone. You can't get water from a dry well. Can't save a sinner from the fires in hell. No, 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 but don't you wait, honey, don't you know you can't get blood from a stone. Why, yeah. Though she ain't good looking, well, Lord, but she takes her time. She is a rambling woman. She got a rambling mind. You can't get water from a dry well. Can't save a sinner from the fires in hell. No, 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 but don't you wait, honey, don't you know you can't get blood from a stone. Well, don't you wait, honey, don't you know you can't get blood from a stone. From a stone. I said a blood from a stone. I know the honey from a stone. Oh, yeah.
The drive out Lighthouse Road is pretty straightforward, uneventful. It's graded. You'll see quail maybe on the roadway. So a little bit of wildlife. It parallels the Mattole River as it goes out towards the mouth of the Mattole and the campground, the Mattole River campground. There's a spur that heads south off of Lighthouse Road. That's Prosper Ridge Road, and then it takes a southward turn as Windy Point Road. That'll take you out to Punta Gorda Lighthouse and part of the Lost Coast Trail that's there. We're going to pull in here. There's our Colorado van that we're passing by right now, the adventure van we saw down at Usel Beach. And we pull into this campground. It's also the jump off spot for the Lost Coast Trail hiking trail, the north to south. direction, where you start at the Mattole trailhead and hike south to Black Sands Beach. That particular trail is 24.6 miles with very minimal elevation change. And it's a fun hike. I've hiked from Black Sands north. Most people hike from the north-south because of the prevailing winds. But in any case, it's a fantastic hike. And we see a lot of hikers and backpackers coming in as we spend this afternoon in the park. There's a kiosk at the west end of the parking lot area and trailhead that's a neat kiosk. It has a pretty detailed map of the area with the wilderness checklist, other trails in this area to hike, and a little narrative on the actual Lost Coast Trail itself. It says the King Range National Conservation Area offers one of the few coastal wilderness hiking experiences in the United States. You can view sea lions, tide pools, and spectacular wildflowers. And it goes on just to kind of share about how the trail connects with different portions of the Lost Coast and where you wind up. The campsite we were in was fairly well sheltered, especially when we circled the vehicles. But when you walked over the dunes, it was blustery. You could really see the wave action and how tremendously strong the Pacific Ocean is on this side. But it was beautiful as well. There was a lot of driftwood, and there were some structures, A-frame structures, that people had built, probably as windbreaks and just as art that was out there. Those 3 poles that were there looked like Mayday poles. I'm not sure what they were used for, but the camp looks up into the valley, and it's a beautiful valley. We had one visitor in camp, a little woodchuck or ground squirrel, whatever you want to call him. We spent the rest of the day just kind of unwinding from the drive, building up campfire and eating dinner. That's all for day 3. Tomorrow, day 4 is our final day. Head out to Petrolia and back into Ferndale to finish the drive. Thalia, did you bring me a brick? This is what happens when the dog can't find a stick. She brings me a brick.